Future Digital, that's us. Who are you? In recent episodes, we've been talking about what cryptocurrencies are good for and what they're not good for. In this episode, I'd like to talk about this topic just a little bit more, but instead of explaining things, let's compare things instead. Cryptocurrencies, as we all know, are basically unregulated currencies. This means they're not connected to an official state-run currency like dollars, euros, or yen. In other words, they're an alternative to the government. Sort of. Cryptocurrencies should, in theory, be every libertarian's dream come true. But let's analyze what libertarian means in a nutshell, and I mean very briefly. A libertarian essentially opposes governmental overreach. They want liberty, freedom. And this is all fine and dandy, of course, but a lot of them want it to such an extreme that they think even the fire department should be a privatized service. There are pros and cons to this, of course. Let's look at medicine. In the US, even with the so-called Obamacare, healthcare is a complete mess. Break an arm, sell your house to pay for it, or maybe sell some Bitcoin. In the rest of the world where social healthcare exists, you usually don't have to pay anything because you already have, in the form of taxes. Libertarians don't want to pay taxes, which is totally understandable, because they believe capitalism can take over the various things that taxes pay for. The problem is that it runs amok almost every single time. Private health insurance in the US is a perfect example. Sure, these companies offer a service, but it's extremely expensive, and when you need it, they usually try to find a way out of providing the service they exist to provide. Because capitalism. And yet, on the other hand, social healthcare can have longer lines, lower quality, or at least that's the fear. It really depends on how good that particular government is. How does the analogy of libertarianism apply to crypto? Governments can manipulate their currencies, decide on interest rates, and so on. They cannot do that with cryptocurrencies, at least not unless they decide to take them over in a hostile manner, and there's no reason to believe they will. The downside to this is volatility. As we've been seeing recently during the so-called crypto winter, these digital blockchain currencies have taken a literal pounding by losing so much value and so fast, and then rising again just as fast. This volatility, however, is one of the major draws of cryptocurrencies. You can make a lot of money very fast. But what about today with this hyperinflation we're seeing around the world? If you invest in crypto and it goes up, will it actually go up enough to where you still won't lose money just because everyone is price gouging everyone else these days? That is what we are going to talk about in our next episode. Can crypto be an effective hedge against inflation? And what even is inflation? Why does it exist? One final fact about crypto in terms of that libertarianism analogy is that in certain countries you have to pay a capital gains tax. In the US, for example, it's 0, 15, or 20%, depending on how much you earn. So if you make a ton of money with crypto, you have to keep in mind that the government wants its cut, meaning that you have to first be certain that your investment has increased more than the amount you'll have to pay in tax. And that, in my opinion, is government-sponsored inflation. But that's a topic for another time. I am not a financial advisor. Don't forget that. We are Future Digital, based in the crypto capital of the European Union, Estonia. This episode's Estonia fact is about a food Estonians are crazy about, and it's called kama. No, I'm not saying that Estonians eat punctuation, commas. They eat a mix of 4, sometimes 5 different flours. No, I'm not saying that Estonians eat actual flowers. Well, they do, especially dandelions. That's why they're called butterflowers in Estonian. I'm talking about barley, oat, rye, and pea flour. Sometimes wheat flour is also added. And what do they do with this? They add it to rotten milk. What does it taste like? Estonians love the taste of dirt. I'm kidding, of course. Don't knock it until you try it. Kama is actually really good mixed with kefir, various yogurts, and especially chocolate. That's it for this episode of Future Digital, and we'll be seeing each other very soon. Oh yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment. You know the drill. Bye.